Hey guys, how's everyone doing? It is cold here in Seattle. We got some snow, a little bit of snow, nothing like get out east. Anyways, I wanted to talk today about some floating vanities I did for a house. Same house we've been kind of discussing, trying to get to finishing stages from a video standpoint. Obviously the house is done, but I was getting a lot of good feedback on these kind of floating vanities. And then there's the one I did in the master. So they're just the one in the secondary bathroom, master, I don't know, I guess I can't say that, in the primary suite. This is the second bathroom, and this is the primary bathroom. And just kind of want to quickly talk through the process of kind of what we did, what I did for this. The first thing we did was, picked out some wood, and the wood we picked was this there was a walnut laminated plywood, and then there's a Baltic birch wood, which you can see here. Back here, and the walnut here has actually been coated a little bit. So the first thing we did was pick out that wood, and some of the characteristics I look for are just unique aspects, like this little eye here, or this little centerpiece here. And since this was the master bathroom one, I wanted to try to figure out if there was a good focal visual element that we could kind of cue off of in the bath. And so we did. There was a, you can see it here, there was this point where around the middle there was a natural occurring not natural occurring, this is probably where the veneer was cut, but natural in the aspect of how it was laid out in the wood. And the goal then was to figure out how do we center that on that floating vanity, because there's a lot of things that come into play. Where your sinks are, where it sits on the wall, how far you're going to stand it off on the wall, etc. So that was kind of the first components of this build. And then some of the kind of groundwork was, this is me kind of laying out those measurements. This is kind of where the center of the sink would be, understanding where those drains would be and things like that during the process. One thing we did to float the vanities was use the right-on brackets. Right-on is the company. The metal wall brackets are what you see actually here, and then you'll see them here that are mounted to the studs. So you want to do this at framing. There are brackets that you can mount to the wall through the drywall. It's just nice to have everything clean and crisp coming out of the wall. So we mounted those there, and then you can kind of see them closed up here, and it's really makes for a fairly simple look and feel for the bathroom. So here's the brackets themselves, and they come in various sizes. So that was one component of this that I would say I would change, and this is the other one. You can kind of see them. This is the secondary bathroom. We covered them before we painted, but as you can see on, let's see if I can pull up this picture. This is a good one. The counter was around 20 inches deep, and when we installed it, it felt it had a little too much give for my liking. It was solid. No one's gonna, they're not gonna snap off or anything, but there was that little bit of play in them, and so the upgrade next time would be to try to pull those make them longer. I want to say these were 10, and the total counter was like maybe 15, 17, 18, somewhere around there. And so that would be one thing I would change. We also, as you can see here a little bit in this picture, because the weight of obviously this wood it would be heavy, we laminated 2 together and then cut out the back, so to make it lighter, obviously. So we basically routed out everything, but the first 2 or 3 inches, so you would get this, the thick edge in the front like you see here, but behind it is just one layer, and you can kind of see with this line there where the 2 layers are occurring on the front side, but behind that's just kind of a false front. And that was one thing that we did to help give it a little thicker, a little more substantial look in the bathroom. Another thing that we did during this process was to build the kind of route out where those brackets would go. So as you can see here, just again giving a more streamlined look. Very rarely are people ever going to be under there seeing this, but these are little details that I think are, can be important. And so basically that meant that the brackets flushed out with the surface of the wood, and I'm not sure if you can see it here, but so that was that component. I think that's it from the standpoint of the design. This is, so we had extra pieces, and I cut these off and treated them with I want to say it was just a matte poly, a few coats of matte poly, and I gave these to the client. And basically, if they wanted to have additional floating shelves in the bathroom, they could use those, or put them in a cubby if they had a cubby, if they made a cubby. And it's really just nice for them to have something that looks, well, actually it doesn't just look, it's from the same piece of wood. And if they do install them, it's nice for that all to kind of be a familial design language for that bathroom. And this is just it without the sinks in, for both of these. And you can see on this one, to some degree, this is pretty close to where the center between the 2 sinks were. So we were actually able to get that to land, right around here for these vanities. I think that's it for at least the kind of the woodworking part of this. I'm not sure I would do this again. I really love the way it looked. I just think there may be some other off-the-shelf options that maybe follows that same visual style that I liked. This is just another look at the brackets, but I think that would probably be something that I'd want to reconsider. And if the client really wanted them and was in love with it, yeah, we would do it again, because it's not extremely difficult. And yeah, I think that's it. Feel free to comment, have any questions, things that maybe we could do better next time, if we choose to do that. But I noticed a couple people on some other channels doing some similar work that I thought this could help them as well in terms of learning how we did things. Okay, thanks guys. Subscribe and keep commenting.